Now we're asking about my drying technique. Well, I've actually been using quite a bit of different techniques. For my first grow, I actually use this hunting blinds, a pop-up hunting blind. But basically it's just a tent. It's dark, it keeps the light out. Inside I had strings going right here, going across and on the sides. And then I just hung it, like I cut all the branches, I just cut them off right underneath the buds, whatever. And I would hang them, boom, 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 all along, all the way around this tent. And then I had a circulation fan or a box fan in here to move air around and blow it all around. Inside that hunting blind, I had a humidifier also, keeping the temperature around 60 degrees and then 60% humidity. When I'm putting the plants and or hanging them inside of here, I'll either hang them with a full plant or I'm gonna do the same thing, cut each branch. And like I did in this 4x8, one side of it is that way, I cut the branches and hung all the branches on some strings. And this side, I hung the whole entire plant up. And then I'm shooting for 60 degrees, 60% humidity. But really you're in the range between 60 and 70 degrees. And humidity is from 45 or 55 till 60. Even though they say don't go to 60, but everyone runs 60-60. I run 60-60, or I try to. But inside the 4x8, I have two circulating fans in there, or oscillating fans, however you say it. And then I have my inline fan turned up to pull air from the bottom to the top. And that, along with the fans, is gonna keep the air moving. You want the air to be moving, but you don't want air to be like blowing directly onto the buds themselves. Also, having a filter on your inline fan will also help contain smells. Dry tents is my other option. Inside here, you're gonna see the bud chandelier. This is when I usually cut my branches. They're about this size from there to there. That way they fit in here, and I clip them in here in bunches. This bud chandelier will spin, so it keeps the air moving. Along with that, it's also sucking air from this tent. From that tent, it has this duct going right here, sucking air through here. It sucks air through the top holes up here, or this, I guess you call that a vent. I don't know what to call it at the moment. But anyway, it's going to suck the air from up here down through all your buds that are already spinning and into here. This tent being smaller or confined is actually a little bit easier to control the humidity. My basement temps are at 65 degrees right now, and the humidity I keep right around 60, 55, 60. So that is what it should be inside my tent for the most part. But if I need a little bit of humidity, I got a humidifier, and I can also use the dehumidifier outside the tent. If you need a humidifier or a dehumidifier, that's all going to be based off of where you live, what kind of humidity levels you have in the area that you live in. Areas that are going to be prone to having more humidity are going to need a probably dehumidifier, and then the opposite is going to need a humidifier. I also have my big dry tent back here, same principle. And then we have my girl here, the Canitrol. I have not used this yet, but I'm going to, and I'm dying to, because this is supposed to dry and cure your whole entire grow or the bud or whatever. It's supposed to dry it in 4 days, and then it's supposed to cure in another 4 days for a total of 8 days, which usually when I'm drying in my dry tent or in one of the tents, I'm drying for 11 to 14 days, maybe sometimes a little bit more than that. So that's 11 to 14 days right there, plus curing, which can be at least another 30 days. So going from a month and a half to a week is a big difference. But like I said, I haven't tried this thing out yet. I do plan on it. I'm actually going to get ready to fill it up now. But basically you take all the buds, you take them off the stems, and you're going to set them in here nice and evenly. You don't want to block them or like on top of each other or anything. There's a nice flat layer. You're going to have your one sponge with some water in the bottom of it. You're going to place it on one of the racks, and that's going to keep it enough humidity in here. And it's going to keep the temperature and humidity right where it's supposed to be, and it's just supposed to work really well. Because all you got to do is hit a couple buttons, and it's going to do all the work for you, and it's done. It even has a little lock and key over here where you can lock it. But when it comes to drying, all you really need is a nice dark area. You need some fans, some air movement, the right humidity. And close or in range of temps, like I said, 60 to 70 degrees. And 45 to 60% humidity. If you smell a hay smell, don't be worried. That smell often, if it is there, it will go away over time or when you cure. But that does mean that you're drying too fast or too slow.